And eventually, nature does what nature does. A spark from a market over 1 kilometer away set ablaze all of that fuel in the rain and burnt a trail that ran like a snake across the surface of the water, according to eyewitnesses, burning everything in its wake, all the way back to the source, the Goyle filling station, where a massive explosion set the night sky ablaze. It could be seen for miles in every direction. And the impact on the lives of those in that community has been felt for years since. Today we remember those we lost on the 3rd of June, 2015. But sadly, we have to ask ourselves, was it for nothing? It's important that we remember exactly how bad this was. Short memory can sometimes be a blessing. It helps you to manage trauma. But it can be a curse because it distances you from the lesson you're supposed to learn. Today we bring back the lesson. We bring back some of the survivors, some of the heroes, those affected the most by what happened on the 3rd of June. And Kojo, you know 2 of them, don't you?
Yes, I know 2 of them, and on the night I interacted with both of them. One of them worked around the industrial area, around the Graphic Road. They were stuck in the office. And another was also stuck at home. And I remember both their messages for help. Let me read the first one. Kafui wrote on the night that I need help. My daughter and I are not safe. Nadmo is not here yet. We are behind the trade fair. My compound is flooded. We are in our rooms and we cannot come out. That was the first person calling for help.
Tell us about the second person.
Yes, and the second one is my other friend, Akosua Kafui. Now, Akosua on the night was working at GH1. You remember GH1 Studios, where it is around Graphic Road, and they were stuck.
Right.
So she placed a call to me. We were on the phone for some time, trying to calm her down and trying to get her some help. A week later, this is what she wrote on Facebook. Last week by this time, we were stuck in a flooded building. We had to stay in a flooded building overnight. The mosquito bites, the scary smell of the fuel, the uncertainty, the fear of the floor collapsing, the fear of death, the fear of not seeing your family, the fear of not being missed when you are gone, the fear of leaving the world with things undone. Thank God for His saving grace. Thank God for unmerited favor. Thank God for His protection. Imela is still all I can say to you, Lord. I am forever grateful. And thank you all who prayed and were worried with and for me.
Those are 2 who were lucky enough to survive, right?
Yeah.
They're lucky to still be with us. And in fact, they are with us right now on the phone. Let's say good morning to Kafui. Kafui, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
It's a special pleasure to say good morning to you because I know that if things had gone the other way around, 10 years from now, we would be mentioning your name as someone we remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
walk us through as comfortably as you can, because I suspect that this is quite a traumatic, experience for you. But as comfortably as you can, Kafui, tell us what happened that night.
Okay, so that on June 3rd, usually I don't close early from work, but on that particular day I closed early because my shop was just at trade fair. So I picked up my daughter and then we went home. And when the weather began to change, I remember I called a friend and said, it looks kind of funny, but thank God I'm home. Little did I know that even being home was going to be worse, you know. And it started to rain. And I was on a call with a friend, Larry, at the time. And Larry said, look, if it's getting worse, you just have to get out of the place. But I kept telling him, it's okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Until, it wasn't fine anymore. And I had to call out for help. And the only thing I could do was to post on Facebook. And it looks like everybody was all over the place. Everybody needed help. So nobody was minding me at the point. And Larry said something. This morning, I just remembered and I actually sent him a message. He said, look, if the last thing for me to do is to save your daughter and you, I would do it. And that was how he came. In fact, he swam on my compound to enter my room to bring us out. He carried my daughter on his head and me at his back. That was what he did. And that was how we got saved.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, my friend Larry, that's Larry Dogbe to come.
Yeah, we suspected you meant Larry Dogbe. Good old Larry. Thank God for him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was my savior on that day. My hero.
No doubt. Well, someone else who has something to be very, very grateful for is Akosua, right? Akosua Kafui. Now you, Akosua, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo.
Yeah, you were stuck at work.
Yes.
How did that happen?
So it was like a normal day. I used to work at Charterhouse at the time, and Charterhouse and GH1 were owned by the same company. So we were working on a new production. So after work at Charterhouse, we had just gone, and we were done with the production. Then it started to rain. We were like, let's stay here and let the rain subside so that we can go home afterwards. So we're all just at the reception area, like usual media house thing, teasing each other, laughing. And then it started to rain. So one of the guys came and said, there's water on the compound. So those who have parked, they should move to the next, they should move outside or to the next company, because it appeared that they had a bit of a higher ground. So people moved their cars, and then we went back and we were just chatting. It's just rain. The rain will stop. And then out of nowhere, there was some sudden rush of water into the reception area. And before we could think, the reception was flooding. So they asked all of us to run upstairs. There was, those of you who had been to GH1, the old one, there was a wooden stairs and the upstairs was wooden. So we all had to rush upstairs because in about less than 5 minutes, the whole place was flooding very, very fast. So we all just ran upstairs. We were there before we could tell. The whole compound was flooding. It was dark and the light had gone out. And we were all scared because the stairs was getting soggy. And so when you step on the wood, you could feel like it's a bit moving. And we were all scared there. It was raining. The rain won't stop. The compound kept flooding. And it had covered the generator, had covered the GH1 wall at the time. So we were scared, only to see the sky turn orange. And we were all like, someone's house is on fire. We saw the explosion happen right in front of us because of where we were on the graphic road.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the extent of the devastation. The NADMO lines were not going through. It was so frustrating. I think I posted so many times on Facebook that day, Kojo had to call me to calm me down because I was frustrated. I was like, emergency lines are supposed to work in an emergency. That's why they are there. And the NADMO lines were not going through. And we were terrified. At a point, we could smell fuel in the water. And we were scared because we don't know what lightning will happen. We don't know whether the fire we are seeing can happen. It was torture. But fortunately for us, one of our colleagues, Emily's brother, was with the army and were part of the rescue team. And so they came for us, I think around 3 a.m. And even as I'm talking about this, I just remember that in the middle of the night, I think after midnight, when we were still scared, we saw a man and a heavily pregnant woman and a young boy walking through the water. So the boys asked her, "Where are you going?" She was just standing there, like she couldn't talk. She was standing in the water. She was pregnant, standing in the water, and the man had carried a little boy. So we were like, she should come upstairs, and at least this place is safer than being in the water. Their church apparently was flooding, so she had to climb out of the church with her son. And so the man was also was a passenger in the car, so they were helping. And I remember looking at the little boy shivering upstairs when we were trying to cover him, and the pregnant woman was just crying. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm scared, I'm afraid, but this person's predicament seems worse than mine because she's pregnant. And after having 2 children of my own, I now understand what she was going through. And so we stayed there till about 3 a.m. or around 4 a.m. And there's uncertainty because at that time still the NADMO lines were not working. And we heard a voice, "GH1 people, are you there?" And we're like, "Yeah, who is this?" And then we said yes, and he said, Emily has reminded me that you people still haven't been attended to, so we are here. We are coming for you. Just give us some time. Those are the army military men were coming for us.
Yeah.
And when they came, they gave us that, I don't know what it's called, so that canoe-like thing. I think they have a special name for it. So they brought it close. And I'm not a short person, but when I stepped into the water was above my waist level. And when I sat in the canoe-like thing, I just burst out crying. I was just crying, and the military man kept telling me that it's okay, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. And we managed it took us to the STC area that was dry at the time, and we managed to find our way back. Even at that time, we still didn't know how the orange sky we saw, what it actually meant. We thought someone's house was on fire, was an explosion. It was later that morning that we saw the bodies that had been burnt, that we understood that what we were looking at was a devastation. Yeah.
Did you smell the fuel in the water?
Yes. You could smell it in the water.
I can only imagine your relief.
It's even surprising that it's been 10 years. Like every June 3rd is it's like, and I thought I had overcome it till I think after a few months we went back there and it had threatened to rain and it started drizzling. I was behaving like a crazy girl at GH1. It's going to rain, just walking around. That was when I realized that what I had gone through was like, it's trauma that I needed to, because every time it threatened to rain around that side, I act abnormally because I don't think I had processed what had actually happened till a few months later. Yeah.
Recounting the events of June 3, 2015 with Kafui and Akosua. Kafui was home with her daughter when the rain came and trapped her. Akosua and her colleagues were at work. It was a regular day until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And she just thanks God that they were rescued. Kafui, your daughter was 7 years old at the time. How old? Well, I mean, she's 17 now. Where is she? And does she remember these events?
Yes, and so I think she still suffers from the trauma that anytime it begins to rain, she reacts in a particular way. So she hates rainy season. I don't know how I'm going to be handling that, but she just does not like rainy season. Yesterday when she went to school, and she messaged me that it's June again and it's going to be raining. I don't think I really want to be going to school.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Yeah.
It was quite traumatic, you know.
No doubt.
I know with kids, it's very hard on them. So,
Yeah.
But
Now, I mean, both of you, obviously, you didn't move out from, or you didn't stop working at these locations after that night. Have you seen anything change? If these circumstances were to repeat themselves, is there anything new that's been done that would keep people safe?
well, I have moved from that particular home because the trauma was too much for me. I actually moved out the following week.
Oh,
So
wow.
I haven't gone back there. Yeah, it was a home I owned, but I let it go. I couldn't stay there anymore.
Understandably, yeah.
Yeah. And I had to stay at somewhere that I feel way safer now, and I don't have to worry about flood. But it looks like much has been done in that particular area. The last time I drove through there, where I went to visit a friend, I saw there's some drains that had been constructed, and I believe that should help should such an incident happen again. But most of these things are actually about attitude and how we for me, I think it's just about attitude, how we handle even waste in this country. You understand? Because I strongly believe that if we don't have waste blocking all the drains, we may not be experiencing some of these things that we experienced 10 years ago. Yeah. So if we have to work at something, it has to be more intentional, and then people should know our attitude towards waste management. It's one of the contributing factors.
Yeah. Akosua.
Hi, Kujo. Well, I no longer work with Charterhouse, but I'm still in the media. I'm still a comms person. I drive around that side of town a lot because I used to live in Dansoman. I don't think that much has changed. Accra flooded a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I believe that our ignition for doing the right thing is always from a pain of a disaster. People die, and properties are lost. Like we are ignited to do the right thing because disaster. When the disaster subsides, everybody goes back to doing what they used to do, which is not fixing the problem. I think that our ignition for doing the right thing should come from a sense of duty, an understanding of the responsibility that has been placed on you, whether you are a citizen, whether you're a duty bearer. If it's your job to ensure that drains are not clogged, do it. Don't wait for a disaster to be ignited to do something that you're supposed to be doing already. If you are a citizen, do the right thing. Don't drop refuse anywhere. Don't clog gutters. Be a good citizen. I think a lot of the time, that's our problem. When something happens, the ignition is from the euphoria of the disaster and the pain of it. And so after people move on and we forget the disaster, nothing happens. But if it's from a sense of duty, we'll be able to sustain it. I was expecting that maybe there will be a policy or implementation of a policy that everybody can trace to what happened on June 3rd, and we can say that because of June 3rd, this and this and this is what, as a nation, we have agreed that we would do to ensure that lives are not lost again. Because sitting here remembering 10 years on, it could have been me. If I had decided to leave earlier, I could have been stuck in the water, because the chances are I want to cycle to pick a car to Dansoman. And only God knows what would have happened. So in all of this, I think what I feel we should take away with is that our ignition for doing the right thing should come from a deep sense of responsibility and duty, and not from anything else.
Yeah. Akosua and Kafui, your voices matter because of what you've been through, and you are certainly speaking to the people who need to hear it. So let's pray that indeed it falls on fertile ground. But we thank God for your lives, and we thank you for your time with us this morning. God bless you both.